Okay, well, I think we will get started now. And now I'm going to try to share my screen again. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, and I'm going to enlarge it a little bit here. We had a couple questions submitted ahead of time. One was from Kylie, and I'd hoped that she would be on here tonight so that she could hear the response. She said her Labradoodle is a very picky eater. I keep trying new kibbles with him. He will eat well 1 or 2 days, but then back to not eating. I add boiled chicken on top, but still won't eat much. He is 8 months old. This gives me a lot of anxiety. How can I keep him healthy eating? Well, part of the problem is changing food constantly. A dog does better with a normal diet, an expected diet. And when the human keeps adding high value things like boiled chicken on top, it entices them to eat with gusto. And then when you stop giving them that, they kind of go on strike against the kibble. And so as long as the dog is at a good weight, there is no need to cater to that type of eating issues. You want to find a high quality kibble and offer him that kibble. And we have some different food toppings that you can sprinkle on the food that are vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And that will change up the flavor for him, but keep him eating a healthy meal. A dog that eats just chicken isn't getting all of the nutrition that he needs. And they know very quickly how to train you to give them what they want. Does anybody else have that same problem?
Not really. Nessie is, she's a golden. She won't say no to food. In fact, that's my next question. The one about her aging and how the diet should change as the age is. What I would be very interested to know after this.
Okay. Well, a lot of companies many years ago went from a kibble that was suitable for all dogs of all ages for the most part. They came out with puppy food, or labeled as puppy food, simply to appeal to the humans buying the food. And typically puppy food has a higher price tag, but for the most part, the nutritional needs as far as protein and fat and things like that in the diet are pretty standard, except for large breed puppies who have a tendency to grow fast. And so for large breed puppies, sometimes you feed a lower protein, which many times is what adults eat. So unless you have a senior dog that has issues that needs something special, or that can no longer eat a dry kibble, the diet pretty much stays the same throughout the life of the dog as far as the nutritional needs. The best gift we can, of course, give our pets is good health, and nutrition is the foundation for that. And diet and genetics are things that we can control, but good health is sometimes a gamble. So we need to control the diet to give the best nutrition possible. And there are so many food choices out there that it's really difficult to know what to choose. And of course, every bag on the front has claims that they cover this or they cover that, but very few brands actually provide everything that's necessary. I feed a food called Paltry, which is a company based out of Texas, and they have what I feel is about the top kibble available. And one of the reasons is because they won't compromise. They will make sure that no matter what, their sourcing is the healthiest sourcing possible. And all of their kibble, the first ingredient is real meat. And that's where you need to start when you're looking on the back of a bag of dog food. Your list of ingredients always start with the most concentrated or the highest amount of ingredient as the first ingredient. And so many dog foods have the first ingredient being a corn or a corn meal or a meat meal, but not meat. So the first source of ingredients should be real meat. And there are many different types of meat that we feed dogs: chicken, turkey, duck, lamb, salmon, whitefish, trout, bison, to name some of the top ones, beef. And the first ingredient should always be one of those meats. I see that we've got everybody on mute. Anybody want to tell me what they feed their dog?
So we feed Nessie Open Farm. It's human grade food. It was basically we switched. So she was on another food called Lotus, which is grain free food for the longest time. And then about a year back, her vet recommended that we actually switch her to with grain, especially because of all the research that was done. So we kind of did our research again, looking for food which is human grade but with grain. So Open Farm was recommended to us by one of the vets. So we switched to that. So far I've been really happy with it, and it seems to be working for her. She likes it. I just feel like with kibbles, often that's my whole dilemma all the time. Like, do you need to put something on top to make it more nutritious for them? Because as you said, I think no kibble can cover everything, right?
Well, that's correct.
And I use kiwi for my sheepadoodle.
Say that again. What kind?
Kiwi. It's a dried raw food.
Okay. Okay. I am not aware of that brand, so I can't give you any feedback on that. But I'm sure you have done your research and read the ingredients. And what is the main protein source in that food?
It's chicken.
Chicken. Okay. Chicken seems to get a bad rap when a dog has itchy skin or seems to exhibit allergies. The first thing the vet says is your dog's allergic to chicken. And probably 1 or 2% of those dogs that are deemed allergic to chicken really aren't. The first course of action the vet does is say, remove the chicken. And then it takes about 30 days to get that out of their system completely. And by then, whatever allergen was growing outside at that point has finished blooming or whatever, and the dog does better. And then of course that person thinks that dog is allergic to chicken the rest of its life. And that's typically not the case. I am going to show you a couple things about dog food here. Your typical cheap grocery store brand, you feed a lot more because there is a lot less nutrition in it. And when you feed more, you have more stool. And I'm sure you're like me, everybody follows their dog around and has to pick up what they deposit. So having less smelly poop and lesser amount is good, and also a sign of a better kibble. Probably the brands that you guys are talking about that you feed, which would probably be leading national brands, typically you would feed, according to this diagram, about a third less. The kibble that I feed has an 87% digestibility rate. It's very nutrient dense, and therefore they digest and utilize 87% of what they eat, and then only have 13% of it in waste, which is a healthy way. Poultry has quality and efficacious ingredients, and you will see the difference when you're feeding a pet healthy foods versus low quality foods. A lot of times you see a dog that has a poor coat or doesn't have bright eyes or is a heavy shedder. And that is typically because they're not getting the nutrition that they need. A telltale sign for breeders is your longer coated dogs, when they have a litter of puppies, they typically blow their coat. Their coat gets very thin. They do a lot of shedding, and especially show dog people, it's a race to get the coat back in shape after they've had a litter before that dog can go back in the show ring and look good. And I was faced with that many, many years ago and thought that that was just part of breeding dogs, that they were going to blow their coat and that there was nothing that you could do about that. I found that nutrition plays a huge part in that, and feeding a high quality food packed with nutrition, I haven't had dogs blow coats again. So, a pretty coat, a healthy coat is one of the telltale signs of good nutrition. I also wanted to concentrate on why pets go to the vet and what we can do to avoid 80% of the reasons why pets are taken to the vet. And these reasons here were provided by Healthy Paws, which is an insurance company, and they gave us a percentage of reasons why pets go to the vet. And I'll concentrate on dogs here, but you can see we also have a similar list for cats. Stomach issues is the highest reason why our humans take our pets to the vet. Skin issues are 17%. Aches and pains or discomfort, 14%. Ear infections, 10%. Eye conditions, growths, cancer, joint issues, UTIs, and heart conditions all make the top 10. And you can see the percentages here. I am going to lay out a nutritional program that will eliminate stomach issues, skin issues, pain, ear infections, joint issues, and UTIs. Those are the things that we can actually address with nutrition. Eye conditions, growth and cancer, and heart conditions are generally genetic issues that we can't avoid with good nutrition. But all dogs, of course, regardless of their conditions, would need good nutrition. So what if there was a solution for those that you could easily solve? If you knew there were a few supplements that would help them keep healthy, would you give them to them? If you could extend their life and increase their quality of life, would you give them those supplements? I have 4 supplements here that, when given on a daily basis, will avoid 6 of those top 10 reasons why pets go to the vet. And we call it the core 4 essentials, but I'm going to lay out here what each of these things do. Most people think that you should only give joint supplements to big dogs or older pets or pets that already are showing mobility issues. And at that point, you're just trying to put a Band-Aid on the issue, because the reality is all dogs and cats need a joint supplement to preserve the joint fluid. And that joint fluid that they naturally have dissipates over time. And then when it's gone, it's gone. You can't replace it. So what we prefer to do is to provide a supplement that keeps that joint fluid in place and healthy throughout your pet's life. And of course, when they lose that joint fluid, it results in discomfort, bone on bone, lethargic pets, and painful surgical procedures. It can be scraping out arthritis and different things like that. And we all, of course, would like to avoid surgeries for our pets. So the key is to start them early on a joint supplement to maintain good joint health, rather than letting them suffer later and then trying to deal with it after the fact. So there is, you buy a dog food that has glucosamine and chondroitin in the ingredients, and you think, well, that's all I need to do. But the problem is there is no shelf-stable diet that has enough cartilage in the kibble for the basic needs of a pet. In the wild, animals would chew on cartilage, and that is where they receive the nutrients that they need to keep healthy joints. So our dogs, we don't let them go out and chew on wild prey. So we not only give them a food that might have chondroitin and glucosamine in it, but that won't be a high enough level. So they do need a joint supplement. And that's supposed to start when a puppy's about 8 weeks old, when he's completely weaned from mom and eating his own kibble, his own diet. We want to start them on joint support immediately so that you can preserve their joint fluid. These are glucosamine, chondroitin, green-lipped mussel, and hydrolonic acid are the ingredients of a joint support that promotes thick, viscous joint fluid to absorb the concussion within the body or the joints. MSM is to manage the aches and discomfort, and yucca, turmeric, cordalis, and boswellia to maintain joint bone and supporting soft tissue health. So that joint support needs to contain those ingredients to be the highest and most effective joint support. Kind of covered this, but Paltry has a joint support. By the way, Paltry is a completely holistic pet supplement and pet food company. They concentrate on dogs and cats and ways to keep them healthy, but never with pharmaceuticals. It's always with holistic and organic measures. And that is something that your pet can then take for its entire life. If you have a dog that has joint issues, typically the vet's going to put them on Rimadyl, a pharmaceutical. And Rimadyl works. It's a very good supplement. But the problem is that your pet can't be on it long term because it causes kidney damage. So what happens when you have a dog that has a lameness issue when it's 2 or 3 years of age? You need to keep them healthy, but you don't want to harm them in doing it. So that's one of the reasons why I always go to holistic measures when at all possible, because we can use holistic measures long-term without damage to other organs. This is another issue here. Cellular health affects almost every aspect of your pet's overall health, including heart health, brain health, immune system, digestive system, and nervous system. And so you need an optimum ratio of omega-3 fatty acids to omega-6 fatty acids to strengthen the pet's health at the cellular level. And this helps them function like a well-oiled machine, defending against disease, infection, allergies, and much more. The product that we use to address that, we call it our liquid gold. It is a wild Alaskan salmon and pollock oil, and it is made from wild caught fish that swim freely in the pristine waters of the Bering Sea. They're not farmed fish, and they are from fish that are destined for human consumption. So this is the highest quality fish oil on the market, and it's less aromatic and a milder fish smell and a delicious taste. For that matter, my Logan, who you keep hearing tiptoeing around here, he will be 12 in June, and he has been on salmon oil for many years now. And he has a beautiful coat, and he does not shed. And this wild Alaskan salmon and pollock oil can actually decrease or eliminate shedding. So it's great for coat, heart, brain, and skin. And I'll tell you a little story about salmon oil. I have put on breeder educational conferences across the country, and the last one we had was basically the week that COVID hit. And one of my key speakers was Carmen Battaglia, who is an AKC dog show judge and a PhD, and he has worked with the federal government for decades, helping them create the best bomb detection dogs. And because he worked with the federal government, he had access to grant money. And one of the studies he did a couple decades ago was providing omega-3s and 6s, basically through salmon and pollock oil, to mother dogs from the time of conception throughout the pregnancy, after they've delivered their puppies, while they were nursing. And then when those puppies were weaned onto their own kibble, those puppies were given their own ration of salmon oil. And they were given that through 16 weeks of age. So the study went from the date of conception through 16 weeks of age. And the litters that received the salmon oil had 75% better problem-solving capabilities than the litters that didn't. So that goes to show you how important omega-3s and 6s are in brain development. And I'm sure you all see the commercials on TV about Prevagen and the different products for humans to help keep your brain sharp as you're aging. So it's not just important for brain development in utero, but it's important to keep those brains sharp and cognitive throughout their whole life. The salmon oil provides a superior ratio of 15 heart-healthy omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9 fatty acids. And the fatty acids are necessary for almost every function of your pet's body. It nourishes your pet's body at the cellular level, working from the inside out. And as I told you, it supports cardiovascular, nervous, and immune systems. It reduces shedding. And when you have a dog that starts scratching or itching and you think perhaps your dog has allergies, first thing you start, instead of an allergy regimen, is salmon oil, a high quality salmon oil, because many times it's just unhealthy skin. It's not an allergy to something, it's an unhealthy skin. So by treating them from the inside out, we many times can eliminate allergy symptoms just with salmon oil. I also threw in here some information about bone broth. Bone broth has so many benefits. It's collagen that helps with the skin, coat, and nail care. And humans take collagen to support our skin and to promote hair growth. And it keeps the skin supple and elastic, and it keeps the hair growing long and shiny, and it can even prevent wrinkles in humans. And of course, we're not concerned about wrinkles on our dogs, unless you're talking about pugs or Shar Peis. But good skin and coat health are very important for our pets. Collagen works to strengthen the pet's skin and it helps with elasticity, but it's especially beneficial for your dog because it hydrates the skin from within. So bone broth is another additive that we provide on a daily basis for our dogs and our cats. Did you know that the food is the foundation, of course, for good health? However, health begins in the gut because 90% of your pet's immune system is in their gut. So we need to keep a healthy gut to strengthen the immune system. And the immune system is basically an army fighting off bacteria in the gut, preventing the bad bacteria from entering the body. And bad bacteria is very good at invading the body, and good bacteria is not. Bad bacteria leads to digestive issues, immune system reactions, and much more. So the goal is to flood the gut with good bacteria to protect from the bad bacteria overgrowth by decreasing the number of bad bacteria in the gut. So the supplement that I use for good immune system and good digestive health is called GastroPro Plus. And it is crucial for dogs and cats to maintain healthy levels of good bacteria that live and work in the gut, which is the microbiome. GastroPro is not just a probiotic, though. It's also a prebiotic, and it has digestive enzymes to help assist in the breakdown of fats and proteins and starches and cellulose in the digestive system. I have found GastroPro Plus we have been able to eliminate morning sickness in our pregnant bitches. We never have problems with diarrhea. It's very common for puppies to get diarrhea when we wean them from mom. So our puppies get their own ration of GastroPro. And of course, puppies don't have fully developed immune systems when they leave us, even at 8 weeks of age, and they're going out into the world and being exposed to so many things. So it's very, very important to provide probiotics to increase gut health, improve gut health. GastroPro also, if you have a dog that has gas, it's very good at eliminating gas. Another thing that we worry about is the endocannabinoid endocannabinoid system, which is an internal system that responds to environmental changes. It self-regulates the overall balance in the body and achieves optimum function. And CBD is a great source to create that balance within the body. The body naturally produces cannabinoids, but if it's deficient, it leads to an imbalance or disease. And pets can compensate with cannabinoids from plants. CBD is a cannabinoid from the hemp plant. And CBD has a wide range of benefits. It helps with stress, anxiety, aches, discomfort, mobility-related issues, immune system, bladder issues, and much more. Am I going too fast for you guys? Or if you have questions, please feel free to jump in and ask. Does anybody out there already give any type of salmon oil or probiotics to their dogs?
So we just started, I think in one of the posts that you had recommended it. So we started, I started giving Nessie about 10 days back, the liquid gold. I still have to see how it does with her. She seems to like the taste a lot. So she likes it on her kibble. We haven't had any issue, but I'm going to let you know in a couple of weeks' time, do I see any changes or not?
What I would like you to do is, you might even take a little video of this, taking your hand through her coat and seeing how much hair comes out.
Okay.
And then after she's been on the salmon oil for 30 days, do that again, or even at 60 days. We have had labs and Goldens almost completely stop shedding when they're given a daily ration of our liquid gold salmon oil. I didn't know that that was possible many years ago to stop a shedding dog from shedding, but a lot of the shedding that your shedding dogs do can be controlled with appropriate nutrition, and the salmon oil is part of that.
That is, something I'll definitely keep in mind. I just have another question. So I basically give her 2 pumps for each meal. So 2 pumps of the salmon oil in the morning and 2 pumps in the evening. Is that too much, or is that the right one?
You should read the label because it's based on the weight of the dog.
Okay.
And I don't know the weight of your dog, but that off the top of my head sounds about the right amount. My Logan, who's laying here on the floor behind me, is 32 pounds, and he gets 2 pumps total for the day.
Yeah, so she's 64 pounds, so I give her 4 pumps a day.
She's exactly double what he is, so that sounds perfect.
Okay.
We have a product called CBD Mega, and it's a chewable, and it contains an organic broad spectrum CBD extract from hemp. It is made from passion flower to help reduce stress and anxiety and aid in relaxation. The valerian root is to calm anxious, stressed, or fearful pets. Ginger root is there to help with digestive issues, nausea, motion sickness, gas, and support of healthy inflammatory responses. A lot of times we have dogs that don't travel well in the car, and CBD is very good for reducing the anxiety. We also have a product called Chillax, which is another anxiety reducing supplement. And none of these supplements are sedatives. They're not going to make the pet drowsy or tired or sleep more like giving them Benadryl would. It just has some natural herbs in there that help reduce the anxiety. It does not make them sleep. So here are a couple more of the benefits of CBD Mega. We talked about the calming, for thunderstorms, fireworks, separation anxiety. If your pet is anxious when he goes to the vet or around strangers, or if you're going to board him somewhere, any pet that's going to be boarded, going to a place that he's not used to, and not going to be with his family members, is going to have some anxiety. So in my opinion, if you're ever going to board your dog, you should send CBD Mega and Chillax with them to the boarding facility to help that pet have less anxiety while you're gone. CBD also aids in normal healthy joint function and mobility, the immune system, cognitive function, digestive tract health. It can help with both food and seasonal allergies, and it's also good for the skin and coat, and can actually slow the aging process. And that was one of your questions, Ruchi. You said, what can I do to keep her fit and healthy for the longest time possible. You don't want to just keep her physically healthy. You want to keep her mentally strong and healthy.
That's true. This is good to know. Yes.
Okay, so to put the four main supplements together that we talked about, you know, food is the foundation, and you know, the best food, the highest nutritious value available, and organic human grade is important, and multiple protein sources and grain-free and healthy grains to suit the needs of every dog. I actually feed 2 different kibble. One is grain and one is grain-free, so that we're getting the best of both worlds. I feed a chicken and a salmon-based kibble so that there is a variety of protein sources in there, and it keeps the flavors exciting each time. And so, but if I switched from one 100% to a different one 100%, sometimes you can end up with digestive issues. So it's always best to make any changes gradual. And instead of making gradual changes, I like to just mix them together so my dogs are getting the best of both. We call this grouping here the core 4 essentials, and it's the CBD Mega, the Wild Alaskan Salmon Oil, the Joint Support, and the Gastro Pro. And my dogs get these every single day. I have a dog that is, he's worried about, well, he does not like thunder at all. He's worried about loud noises, you know, the beep, beep, beep of vehicles backing up. And I started giving him the CBD Mega and Chillax. And now when I have a thunderstorm, he lays at my feet, he acts normal, he no longer hides, he no longer shivers and shakes. So it's been a game changer for him. And it's something that I recommend to my puppy customers every June, that they need to make sure that they have a supply of Chillax and CBD for any of the dogs that are reactive around fireworks, because fireworks seem to go on for a week or two around the 4th of July. Poultry has a wide range actually of supplements and kibble, and this is just a snapshot here of some of their products. I mentioned that Chillax, we've got that here. The salmon oil comes in a liquid pump, and it also comes in a chewable, depending what your dog likes. My dog loves the oil on his food, so that's the way we dose him. But when we are feeding kibble to our puppies, it's much easier to crumble up the salmon oil chewables for them to distribute that. We have a wonderful selection of treats, and the treats are amazing. I have never found as healthy a treat as this. When the bag says it is turkey, apples, and cinnamon, you turn it over, you look at the ingredients. The ingredients are turkey, apple, and cinnamon. If it says it is apples and kale treats, then that's what's in it, just apples and kale. So that if you have a dog that you feel isn't eating enough, and you are inclined to give your dog treats to kind of make up for it, then those treats need to be healthy treats, not necessarily a replacement for the food, because they don't have all the vitamins, minerals, and so forth that a nutritionally balanced kibble would have. But you can give your pet multiple treats a day and know that you've given them something very, very healthy. The company that I use, and I have done a lot of research over the years, and I needed to have what I felt was the best nutrition for my breeding dogs and their puppies and my senior dogs, is a company called Poultry, and they have a very, very unique algorithm. You can go in and fill out a pet profile for each individual pet, dog or cat, and it's going to ask you questions about its breed, its age, whether it's at a good weight or too thin or too heavy, whether it has a moderate activity level or it's an active dog or it's a lazy dog, and any other issues that concern you. And this unique algorithm was written by vets and nutritionalists together to come up with what would be the best nutritional program for your pet. and I find it to be very helpful and very accurate. And what's really cute as well is when you fill out that pet profile, if you upload a photo of your pet, and of course they're going to ask you for your pet's name, when you order your kibble, it's going to come labeled for that specific dog. So if you have 2 or 3 different dogs and they need 2 or 3 different types of kibble, the bags are going to come labeled for each individual dog, which is quite neat. I have a couple testimonies here that I just wanted to share with you, and these are some of my customers over the years. And the Chillax that I mentioned also comes in a Chillax infused bone. So if you have a dog that does like to chew, instead of giving him a supplement, chewable supplement, you can give them a chew bone. And when they chew on that, they will be dosed with Chillax. And this testimonial was just talking about her dog that had really bad anxiety. He got anxious when there were a lot of visitors. He was afraid of thunderstorms. And the worst one of all was separation anxiety. And that is another reason for helping your pets with anxiety, because when you leave them, they many times can become destructive, or even if they're not destructive, it's horrible to think that when you leave, your dog is worried. So this person said he would start crying if I went to a different room without him. If I stepped out to take the trash or get the mail, or whenever I left, he wouldn't eat or drink water. When I would go out of town, he would literally lay down on the couch and stare at both doors all day and night till I got there. My sister said he wouldn't move at all nor sleep. When Paltry released Chillax, I knew I needed it for him. It has helped so much. I can travel without worrying about if he's eating, whoops, typo there, eating, drinking water, or sleeping. He was able to go to the groomers and get pampered, because no longer will he go crazy if he doesn't see me there. He also sleeps through thunderstorms now. Whenever there's an unexpected one, I just give him the CBD Nylabone, and he loves it and it helps him. Here's one about the treats. My Corgi girl has a sensitive stomach, and finding treats I felt comfortable giving was tough. Just because some products are labeled all natural didn't mean they were free of preservatives, dyes, or fillers. Paw treats are limited ingredients, and what is listed on the front of the bag is all that's in it. I can feel good about what my girl gets, and she is a happy girl with treats. Now, these pictures are going to show you some major differences, and this was based on the GastroPro and the salmon oil and allergy support. When you have dogs that are getting hot spots and ear infections and are having to get Cedar Point injections and are put on Apoquel, which Apoquel is a pharmaceutical that does work well. Again, the problem with it is it can't be used long-term. So the important thing is to give your pet relief and not harm him in doing so. So you can see these were at the start, 30 days and 60 days later, just by giving him GastroPro Plus and salmon oil and the allergy support chews. And we also have a holistic skin support spray that is amazing. At the first sign of any kind of irritation, you can spray this on and it soothes them. It literally stops the hot spot from appearing. I had a customer that contacted me and said that her dog had little white bumps all over its belly, and she'd been to the vet 3 times, and the vet had prescribed 3 different things and nothing had worked, and her vet was, at his wit's end. So she contacted me. And I said, I'd like you to order this skin support spray. It's just simple, basic, holistic skin support spray. She ordered it. She contacted me 2 weeks later, and she said she sprayed it on him that night before she went to bed. And the next morning, half the bumps were gone. She sprayed it again the next night, and all the bumps were gone within 48 hours. She said she just had never seen anything like it, and her vet was amazed. And it's so nice to have something that's safe to use, that you can keep in your cabinet, that will solve a problem and make your pet feel so much better. Here's another dog that you can see had hot spots where they actually had to shave him down, and the salmon oil was what got the coat back healthy. And Marilyn also said that it decreased the shedding, and the inflammation decrease was noticeable within the first 2 weeks. it became one of our poultry mealtime staples. This is the skin support spray that I had mentioned, and this here tells you about the bumps on the dog's belly that I mentioned to you before. I just can't say enough about these products because I now have the solution in my medicine cabinet to deal with issues that my dogs come up with without having to have a $75 minimum vet visit, only for the vet to say, I don't know what to do, or let's start Apoquel, or let's start Mometamax for an ear infection, which Mometamax is one of the most prescribed ear medications. And typically it seems to work. You use it for a week, the ear infection goes away. About 2 weeks later, it tends to come back. So you use it again. Well, if you've ever read that piece of paper that you fold out and becomes this big, if you read it, it will tell you that usage of more than 7 days will cause deafness in your dog. And I couldn't believe I had been using a product to help my dog's ears that was causing them to go deaf. And so I'm just thrilled to, again, to be able to have products in my medicine cabinet to address these. I don't have a visual up here on the ear product, but it's called Ear Dry and Wash. And it is amazing for clearing up an ear infection, and they don't come back. But it's also great if you have a dog that swims, gets in the water a lot, because one of the big, well, the two main reasons why dogs get ear infections is, one, because they're having an allergy issue, or two, they get water in their ears. And I can't tell you how many times I've taken a dog to the groomer and they come home and 2 days later they have an ear infection. And I realized what it was that the groomer, when they gave the dog a bath, got water in his ears. And, you know, if you have a dog whose ears stick up, you don't tend to have as many ear infections, but dogs who have ears that lay down, they are like a lid. When you get water in the ear canal, that, you know, ear doesn't allow airflow and evaporation of moisture, and that moisture in the ear is the perfect source for bacteria to grow. So on dogs that have any history of ear infections, we recommend that they use the ear wash and dry once a week, just to avoid future ear infections. I have another. This was 30 days after using the allergy support and the wild Alaskan salmon oil. This is a woman that she's one of my IT people that helps me with computer things. And this was her dog, and she was at her wit's end what to do for her dog. And I recommended the salmon oil and the allergy support, and she sent me this picture 30 days later. And that was without any intervention from the vet. That was strictly using holistic support products. Everybody's been so quiet. Any questions out there? Have any of your dogs had ear infections or allergy issues, or unhealthy skin, or digestive issues, or diarrhea, or bad gas?
Yeah, so I just posted a question in the chat. Our Louis, he does have itchy skin, and like you said, you know, the vet will say it's chicken, but I don't. But he loves chicken, so he gets to eat that. And so I just posted in chat, what were you recommending for itchy skin? And Louis' ear flaps do fall down, so he is prone to ear infection, especially after a grooming appointment. So we have something here that the vet recommended. So we use that once a month now, and it seems to be helping.
Okay.
For ear infections. And just... Yeah, go ahead.
Is that a prescription from the vet?
It's not a prescription. It's over the counter. Let me go get it and I'll tell you what's the name of it.
Okie doke.
I have two of them. It is a Tris Ultra Plus Keto, and then a MICE micellar solution.
Okay. I'm sure if you read the ingredients on the back, there's probably a lot of words you can't even pronounce.
Exactly. It always is. Yes.
So once again, you know, it's pharmaceuticals, and see, from a breeder's perspective, I needed products that I could use on pregnant and nursing dogs, as well as dogs that weren't pregnant or nursing. Because if a dog gets an ear infection while she's pregnant, I can't use a lot of those products. I can't use anything with steroids in it. And most of the products for ear issues from the vet are going to have steroids in them. And so, again, I always revert back to holistic remedies because one, they're safe. Two, you can use them long term without worry of damage to something else. And three, using poultry products, I know the source and I know the testing that's done, and I know that poultry gives me a 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if I purchase a product and it doesn't do what I thought it would do, what they say it should do, I send them back the whatever's remaining in the container and they'll give me 100% refund. I don't know any other company out there that will stand by their products for 90 days, 100% satisfaction. But what I would recommend for your dog would be the wild Alaskan salmon and pollock oil, which most of the salmon oils you'll find on the market aren't as high concentrated as this, and they don't have pollock oil, and pollock oil has its own list of benefits. I would do the salmon oil and I would do the allergy support.
Mm-hmm.
And does this happen at certain times of the year?
He's itchy almost all year round.
All year round, okay. If it's all the time, then it could be a food issue. It could also be an environmental issue that's prevalent all the time, perhaps dust mites or something. But most of the time when it's an environmental issue, it has to do, just like with humans, it's what's blooming at that time. What is growing out in the yard, because of course the dogs all go out into the grass and they sit in the grass and they lay in the grass and so forth. But first you've got to treat from the inside out to get healthy skin, and that's where the salmon oil comes in. And the healthy skin and coat is just one of the benefits of the salmon oil. And then the allergy support plus. And then if after 30 days using both, you see that the symptoms have gone, you can try stopping the allergy support or going to every other day and then going to twice a week with the allergy support and kind of weaning them off of it just to see if the symptoms reappear. If they don't, then the salmon oil has got it all under control for you. But if the itchiness comes back, then you can keep them on allergy support for life, and it is not harmful to them. I would also recommend the skin support spray, because anytime you see any kind of spot where they're itching, cut it off right then and there by providing the skin support to help starting it to heal before it gets any worse. Now you also may consider switching to a different protein source kibble. If after 30 days you don't see an improvement, simply because there could be a chicken allergy. Most of the time that's not the case, but we do have so many protein sources available that if you wanted to go to a different protein source and do the Alaskan salmon oil and the allergy support and start all three, that would be a way to start as well. But anytime you switch food, you want to purchase a new food while you still have the old food. And for 3 or 4 days, you want to give 75% old food and 25% new food, and then go to 50-50 for 3 or 4 days, and then go 75% of the new food, 25% of the old food, and then, for 3 or 4 days, and then 100% to the new food, just so that you don't have any digestive issues. But I also would highly recommend the Gastro Pro, not just during a food switch, which can cause digestive upset. You need a healthy, strong immune system to combat allergies. And so the Gastro Pro would be another supplement that I would recommend that you add in there, just so that you are giving your dog all the support that he needs to have no reaction to allergens. Other questions? I will mention here that the Core 4 Essentials, you can buy the different supplements individually, but the Core 4 are what are considered essential to combat 80% of the problems and reasons why our pets are taken to the vet. And that is the CBD Mega, the salmon oil, the joint support, and the Gastro Pro. And you can purchase the group of them for a cheaper price through Paltree. Have any of you heard of Paltree? I know, Ruchi, you have. Have you, have you all heard of Paltree before?
No, I haven't.
Paltree is not sold at PetSmart or Walmart or Petco. They do not pay for advertising on TV or radio. They operate totally on word of mouth because they feel that word of mouth is the best form of advertising. Because you know, when you go into Petco, you can pick one of 82 brands sitting there on the shelf. And how do you know which one's good? How do you know which ones other people's dogs have thrived on? So, and that's what I'm here, you know, discussing with you guys. I'm giving you my firsthand experience with the quality of Paltree products. Load it out.
Very good, Amy. This is like, you know, so I was going through the product list. It's always very helpful when somebody can explain this way and also with examples. So this is really useful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think that the products speak for themselves. I'm just very passionate about feeding and supplementing holistically. I personally take holistic supplements daily as well. I take my own salmon oil and my own probiotics because I don't want my dog to be so healthy he outlives me. So I would love to address any other questions anybody else has, or get your input on what you think about the different products that I've presented here.
Thank you. This was very useful. I'm going to go check the website and order as, what will work for Louis. Thank you.
Okay. Well, there are a few things I'd like to share with you so that you get the best price. With Paltree, you can get free shipping when you set up your order as Easy Ship and Auto Ship. If you just log in and buy something, you're going to pay shipping. But if you set it up as an Easy Ship, it has to be at least 3 non-food items. So any of the supplements, any of the treats, they also have toys and so forth. You can get your food shipped to you right to your door for free, as long as it's on Easy Ship and you have 3 non-food items included. There's also right here, this code intro for you, all caps, intro for you, will give you 20% off up to $20 on your first order. If you place an order and you forget to use it, it's just a code that's used. You can only use it one time, so you can use it on your second order, but most people would like to use it as soon as they can. Also, every time you place an Easy Ship order, you earn 1 point for every $1 you spend, and those points add up, and you can use those points just like cash to buy things off the website. So because of the amount of things that I buy for all my breeding dogs, I haven't paid for my supplements or my dog food for months because I've just been using my points to purchase them. So you would, get the best bang for your buck by using Easy Ship. And obviously next month or 2 months from now, or however, whatever the frequency is that you may set up the Easy Ship, you may not want the same items. And therefore, you can go in and edit it. Instead of deleting the Easy Ship, you edit it, because if you delete it, then you'll lose some of your points from before. Now, I am a Paltree Pet Pro, and therefore I do get credit when people place orders through my distributorship. And my website address is paltry.com/FCF Golden Doodles. And I also have a QR code here, which will take you directly to the Paltry website as well. And if you would like to place an order for anything, I would appreciate if you placed it through my link, but you certainly don't have to.
Thank you so much. I got to go now. We'll definitely check it out. Thank you.
You're
Thank
quite
you.
welcome. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.